buckle up, because it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're going to tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats.
I'm so confused. Baby.
Puppy!
Say hi to the fans.
Fucking Lilas, Lulu.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm Katie.
And I'm MICHAE.
And this week, I'm coming at y'all from my cousin's apartment because the traffic is too bad to get back to my home.
Trad.
Michaela, even though this isn't a drunk Disney, apparently she is tipsy. And it's gonna be great. We're talking about the Oscars 2022. They are... Did you just say boo? They do fucking suck. And we're here to talk about it. It's premiering on March 27th.
Sunday.
This coming Sunday. We're doing a predictions episode / just chit-chatting about the Oscars and the Academy and the films that are deemed apparently like the best of the best.
Yeah, this is a big viewing weekend coming up because it's the Oscars on Sunday. The new Bridgerton season comes out on Friday, and it's the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. So, I don't know what to watch this weekend. My mind is, overloaded with all the items to consume. We are so delayed.
Shit.
I laughed because you weren't responding.
Yeah, I think there's a lag in the studio today. Anyways, check in. What's up, sister?
Check in. I'm doing good right now. Let me tell you why. So I went out to dinner. Oh my god, my contact solution is expired. I went out to dinner with my college freshman year roommate. We meet up for dinner once a month. And so we go to these two different places, but one of them isn't open on Mondays. So whenever we meet up on a Monday, then we always go to this other place. And so we go there and we always get margaritas when we go out. That's just what we always order to drink.
Cute.
So we both order our margaritas, and I order a strawberry one and she orders a lime one. And our waiter comes back out and he's like, good news, bad news. Good news, we can make margaritas, which I'm like, yeah, you're a bar. And bad news is we're out of strawberry mix. So he was like, do you want raspberry or lime? And I was like, raspberry's great. So he goes back and he makes our margaritas and he brings them and he sets mine down and he was like, oh my god, you won't believe it. When I made your margarita, I dumped in the raspberry and it was all moldy. So he's like, so I threw that one out and I made you a new one. And he was like, don't worry, I opened a new thing of raspberry. And I was like, okay. But Brie and I were both like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah.
So he drops off my margarita and Bree's, and I just give mine a little stir, and a piece of mold just floats to the top of it. And I'm like, sir, you should be so happy that I am back on my meds because this would send me into a full-on panic attack in the middle of your restaurant. And so he comes back to take our order, and I'm like, sir, this is literally moldy. I'm not gonna drink this. So then he brings me back a lime one, which is great, but then he's like, I made this extra special for you because of how long you had to wait. And he set it down, and I'm still sick, and I could smell the tequila through my nose.
Oh my god, bro.
It was the strongest. And they serve them in big glasses. They don't serve them in the little ones. This is a bar. They don't have those little glasses. They literally serve it in a big one. The strongest margarita I've ever had in my whole life.
Did you just have one?
I had to wait around at the restaurant a bit before. Yeah, I literally just had one. I did not need more.
Oh my god.
One was fine. One and done.
That's hilarious. It's probably just because you're sick and then drinking a lot of tequila all at once.
Yeah.
You're probably just woo, party. Are you on cold medicine too?
Yup.
Baby, no.
Yeah, baby. So I'm gonna crash here probably as soon as we're done recording.
I'm hoping this is a short episode because the Oscars are so botched.
I don't feel like I even have that much to say, TBH. So why don't you check in and then we'll get this shit done with.
My check-in is that nothing's really new for me. I just work a lot and vibe a lot. I'm trying to be sober for 3 days. I'm on day 1 and I'm not sure if it will continue. I'm just chilling with my cousin and his boyfriend in their home. They love having me here.
Good.
They're like, please fucking leave us alone. We need alone time. I missed my own birthday party because I was here with just Dan and Brad. Dan is my cousin and Bradley is his significant other. And I was just chilling here and I felt bad because Dan spent the whole day with me on my birthday. And then Bradley came home from a long day of work and they just wanted to have their little alone time together. And I felt like I was an inconvenience. They're both like, you're so stupid. You could have spent the night. But I left because I didn't want to like intrude anymore. And then all the friends roll up like just as I left. And they're like, where's Katie? And I had already left, so I missed my own birthday party, but that's okay. There's the man himself. It's a very on brand for me.
It is. What happened where I was, it was the moldy margarita, and I was like, if Katie was with me right now, we would just be like, yeah, why the fuck would we not get a moldy ass margarita at this restaurant?
Literally.
So
yeah,
much.
that is so weird. Moldy margarita. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's nasty, bro. It literally rotted.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's talk about this goddamn lineup of films.
Well, let's go. So I'm on the Oscars website. So should we just go through by category?
Sure.
So actor in a leading role. I literally have only seen one of these movies, and that is Will Smith's with King Richard. And I thought he was great in it. I kind of forgot I was watching Will Smith at certain points. So, I mean, I would like to see him win. Also, I feel like he's definitely like a career actor, one that for other roles in the past he has been snubbed for. So maybe this is finally his year, but also you have like a couple of Oscar darlings in here, so I think that could be tricky.
That is interesting. I have not seen King Richard yet. It's been on my list. They took it off of HBO though. We were looking for it today.
They did.
For this, I want Andrew Garfield to win because I thought he did do a really good job in Tick, Tick, Boom. I don't think that film would have been as good without him and his performance. Like, he really embodied the character that he was portraying. The guy who wrote Rent, that's what Tick, Tick, Boom is about. And it's a musical, so Michaela hasn't seen it because she's not a fan of musicals, if y'all don't know. It was a really good movie, especially for, like, artists and people who are, like, chasing their dreams and, like, feeling lost. And, like, as a writer, I really resonated with the film. And my girlfriend, Corinne, loves Andrew Garfield, so I want him to win for her sake as well. I don't think he will, though. I think Denzel Washington is going to win for Macbeth.
I do want to see that. The Tragedy of Macbeth. Can you not go in the cabinets, please? Dorian can open cabinets now, in case I haven't told you. He can literally open up cabinets. Like, I swear, that cat is close to being able to, like, open doors.
And that's wild that he can do that.
Isn't that? Dorian, you're such a busybody. Actually, I feel like I should just preface quick, and maybe Katie and I can quick, like, preface. In the past year, like, ever since COVID happened, I have felt, like, very disconnected, I feel like, from the Oscars. I think because, like, not going to movies, like, not as much coming out, it just, like, has been, like, a weird couple of years. But prior to that, I used to see, like, at minimum, probably, like, 6 or 7 of the nominees, of, like, the Best Picture nominees. And I used to know, like, so many of these movies going through. And just, like, even this year again, like, I just have no desire to watch a lot of these films. Like, even when I was looking through the lists of films that even weren't, like, for example, in this Best Actor in a Leading Role, like, looking through these, I'm just, like, not interested in them. I'm not invested, and I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's, like, the Oscars selection. Maybe it's me. I don't know. In previous years, I have been more prepared, but for this year, like, again, I have not seen a ton of them. I did, like, look up reviews for, like, some of the big categories for me to, like, have a little bit more knowledge to talk about, but I haven't seen a ton.
I only saw 5 out of the 10, and there was really only one that I really, really loved, and then, like, another that I appreciated. So, like, in years past, like, before the pandemic, I was just like you, like, very into the Oscars, very into all the films, very into, like, seeing all the films. I think, like, before I really studied film, and us talking on this podcast, like, has really nurtured my ability to, like, appreciate film more, especially, like, films that typically get nominated for award shows and stuff. But yeah, since the pandemic, like, 2020, 2021, it's just, like, nothing is really that great. for me anymore. I'm not really sure where to pinpoint it, but I think this year the main problem is everything is way too fucking long.
Oh my god. Yes. Yes.
I think that's like the main issue. And if you can't tell your story in 120 pages, 2 hours or less, I don't think it's a good story. Like, straight up, to be honest, I think you have a flawed story, or you need to write a miniseries. And so many prominent, like, people in the film industry, like Spielberg and Del Toro and all these people that are nominated this year. I mean, I don't know them personally. I don't know what their line of thinking is, but I know that some people in the film industry still have this opinion about television that it's, like, selling out and below them as filmmakers, because back when they were in their prime, like, television was kind of selling out, but now television is like way different than it was when it was just like cable TV. And so many of the films that I've seen this year in the Oscar class, I'm like, this is a miniseries. Just make it a fucking miniseries. Like, you can pinpoint where in the film it's like, okay, end of episode 1. And then you can add more and have this like way richer story. Most people in the film industry are recognizing in that, and we're getting a lot of really awesome miniseries, television series out of that. But then we are also getting films like this where it's just like, you really think you're gonna keep someone engaged for 3 hours? Like, and these directors are surrounded by yes men and people who are just like, well, he's Spielberg, so he's brilliant, or he's Guillermo del Toro, so he's brilliant, and of course, like, everything he has in this film is important and needed, and that's just simply not the case. It's like, it's almost like you need an outside perspective. Like, I so often catch myself thinking, like, if this wasn't a Spielberg film, it wouldn't be this long. I think that's my biggest qualm with this year's nominations.
And to be fair, I haven't seen all of them, but I did look them up, and it's just like, there's no Silver Linings Playbook this year. There's no there's no American Hustle. Like, there's no that kind of movie where I felt like it's like, a lot of these feel like old to me. I don't know if that's just me watching it, but I feel like all of the ones that I saw felt old except for 2. And that's because one of them is literally a sci-fi. So it's like, obviously it's going to be like futuristic. Or even like A Star Is Born. Like, when that came out, I was like, oh, like, that made me like feel something. With these, I felt like nothing. King Richard did, kind of. I liked that one. But again, it was kind of like classic biopic. It followed the same kind of formula as they all do.
Michaela, I forgot to fucking tell you. I've been meaning to Snapchat you about this. I finally watched Stick It.
Did you love it?
I loved it. That is like one of the best films I've ever seen. It's so well done.
Oh my god, dude, I had such a crush on, what is her name? The main, Missy Peregrine
or something, yeah.
I had such a crush on her. Love that movie. I'm so glad you watched it.
Yeah, she's like a lot of people's like sexual awakening, like in the lesbian community. She's not like the type that I'm typically attracted to, but I thought it was so well done. It was such a good film. And again, it's like, when you watch, like, I watch a lot of films since moving out here and like living with my roommate Shelby. Like, we are just constantly, we always have movies on. There's just better films than what is being nominated this year. We talk all the time on this podcast, like, what makes a film good, and like the definition of a good film and stuff, but I feel like films like Stick It, you know, it's relatable, it's like fish out of water, it's just, it's good, like, the story's good, and it's wrapped up in 120 minutes or less, like, it's just perfect. So I don't know. And films like Freaky Friday, last night I watched The Runaways, which is completely different, but that's like Kristen Stewart's first biopic she did about Joan Jett, and like the fact that Spencer isn't nominated this year, or for Best Picture, or House of Gucci isn't nominated. Like, it's just interesting, you know? Did those films not have that these other ones do?
Because those 2 movies made me feel something. And I think that those were more, like, commercially successful than these other ones. And I mean, not the Oscars never goes after what is commercially successful. So that's not, like, a fair statement for me to say, like, these were liked more by the general public, so they should have been nominated, because that's totally not what the Oscars is about. But you used to see more of a balance, I felt like, of people, the regular average American viewing a movie and it being nominated than this year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that my parents have seen a single one of these nominees this year. Where in past years, they've at least seen like La La Land, Moonlight, The Revenant. Like, they went to go and see those. This year,
Right.
it's like none of those.
And I think that's the other reason why, like, since the pandemic, these have just kind of, like, the Oscars have kind of fallen short, because I get, as a filmmaker, like, wanting your film to be seen on the big screen. And I think with films like Dune, 100% understand. I think you and I might have appreciated that a little bit more if we saw it in, like, IMAX or something. Like, with the pandemic and the way that the world has changed, I get so angry when things aren't readily available on streaming services. Like, wouldn't you, like, let people see your movie? Don't you want people to see your film? So, I don't know, it's just, like, frustrating, because I've been wanting to watch Licorice Pizza, but I don't have really the time or money to go see it in theaters. And also, like, seeing these movies and sitting in a theater for 3 hours, like, I have to fucking pee, bitch. I can't sit here for that long. I'm hungry. I have other things going on. So, as much as I want to, like, consume film in a theater, I don't want to sit in a theater for 3 hours. And I'm sorry, like, if I'm crazy for saying that, but, like, I just don't.
Well, especially for something like this, where, for the most part, like, these are not necessarily movies that you and I are like, oh my god, we can't wait that this is out, and we need to make sure that we get over there. We're just trying to see these, so that way we can talk about them on this, and that's kind of, and just to kind of, like, almost check it off a list. Like, Spencer was coming out, where, like, we're gonna carve out the time to go and see this, where, for instance, Licorice Pizza, where that would be the other one of these that I haven't seen that I would actually like to see. If it's not on a streaming service, I'm not gonna go out of my way to go to the theater to take that time out that it takes to go and do that, and then also, like you said, to spend the money to do so. Like, we're single girl, well, you're not single, but we're literally girlies on our own in our mid-20s. Like, we don't have just, like, budget to go and see every single one of these movies in the theater.
Yeah.
That would be insanely expensive.
And I would like to. I mean, back when I used to really enjoy the Oscars, like, my favorite years of the Oscars were the years when I was going to the independent theater in my college town, and, like, I'll never forget when I saw Call Me By Your Name in theaters. Like, that was just incredible. Like, the pandemic kind of just changed that forever. It's kind of sad. I haven't had that feeling sense of, like, sitting in a theater and really, really loving a movie. A lot of the time, like, the content is a letdown, and it's like, this wasn't worth leaving my house for. And, like,
honestly,
because leaving your house now has such a different implication than it did pre-pandemic, but it's like, this wasn't worth the money, and this wasn't worth the time, and also, like, putting myself at risk of getting this virus. Like, the pandemic has forever changed, for me personally, like, the experience of going to a movie theater.
I just think it's made me more selective about what I go to see, because I used to go to the movies, like, probably almost every week, because my dad and I would always be going together, and we'd always go on the Thursday, on, like, the $5 Thursday. So that was never, like, expensive, and then if you were the, like, part of the Marcus Rewards Club, you got free popcorn. So then it was like, cool, I'm literally going to the movie for $5 and I'm getting a snack there. Like, that's awesome. The idea of leaving my house versus, like, staying at home. Like, there are certain movies that I do for sure want to see in the theater and that I will go out of my way, but I don't think I will just go see, like, any movie in the theater anymore, where I used to pretty much be like, if my dad was like, do you want to go see this? I'd pretty much be like, yeah, sure. Actor in a supporting role, I've seen none of these. So
I didn't know any of that, so.
I mean, out of this list, just looking at the names, J.K. Simmons, I feel like he always does well.
Yeah, I thought the actor who played the dad in Coda did a really good job. I would like to see him win. I think that would be neat.
Actress in a leading role out of these, Kristen Stewart was amazing, but do you actually think she's gonna win?
If she doesn't, like, that is fucked. I'll be pissed if she doesn't win. Like, I want it to be her, and if it isn't her, fuck that. I mean, she was Princess Diana. Like, that was one of the most incredible performances. And that was, like, one of my favorite films of this year, and it's not nominated really for anything else, which is upsetting. But if she doesn't win that, it's like, ugh.
It's just hard when you're looking at Jessica Chastain, Olivia Colman, Penelope Cruz, and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Huge Oscar people.
And I think it'd be fine if any of them win. Like, it's well-deserved. Obviously, like, all these women consistently deliver, like, spectacular performances, but it would just be nice to see Kristen Stewart win and kind of officially, like, solidify herself as an actress to be taken seriously. I mean, I just would like to see her win for that performance, because I want to continue seeing her delivering performances like that. Like, even watching her portray Joan Jett, and then in comparison to her portrayal of Lady Diana, it's like, the fact that she was able to do both of those, it's like, what? She is so genuinely good at what she does, so I want her to win.
Actress in a supporting role, the only one out of these I've seen, I'm pretty sure this is how you pronounce it, Ingenue Ellis, from King Richard. Fantastic. I think she would deserve it, but again, I haven't seen the other 4, so I don't actually know. That's not an educated guess, but I thought she was fantastic in King Richard, so.
Yeah, I think the only one in there that I've seen is the girl who played Anita in West Side Story, and I thought she did a great job, but who knows, it could go either way, and I don't care that much about this category.
Okay, so the Best Picture nominees this year are Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. So Katie, out of those, what ones have you seen?
So I've seen Coda. I've seen Don't Look Up. Obviously, we covered that on the pod. I've seen Dune. Obviously, we've covered that on the pod. And then I've seen Nightmare Alley and West Side Story.
And then I've seen Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, Nightmare Alley, except for the last 30 minutes. Or is that all the ones that I've seen? Yeah. And the only one that I wanted to Licorice Pizza and Coda. Those are the only 2 that I have any interest in whatsoever outside of the ones that I've seen. I don't like musicals, and the other ones just didn't look interesting to me. I watched the trailer and like, cool, but I'm not gonna waste my time. Well, I'd be interested to see Jamie Dornan in something that's not 50
Oh yeah,
Shades.
I've been wanting to watch Belfast too, because that one is only an hour and 48 minutes, or like an hour and 38.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been wanting to watch it, but it's like $6 everywhere.
Well, thank you to the Belfast creators for creating a reasonably timed movie. Out of those, Katie, what do you want to see win? What do you think will win?
I would really like to see Coda win. That is the only film out of the ones nominated that I saw that I would give 5 out of 5 stars to. It's not my favorite movie that I've ever seen, but it was, I think, the best picture of these ones that were nominated. Again, I haven't seen them all, but I really love this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. It's so good. It's just kind of like unexpected and out of nowhere. All the actors are part of the deaf community, and I just think they all do an amazing job. All of the actors except for the lead actress, because she's a child of deaf adults. Yeah, it's so good. It made me feel something. It's a tearjerker. It's funny. It's just like all the components of a great film. There's conflict and family issues, and it really is kind of like, well, what would you do? Which I love films that make you think that way. So I would love to see Coda win. I don't think it will. I think Licorice Pizza will probably win, or West Side Story.
Fucking musicals, man.
Just because it's Steven Spielberg and it's a classic remake. So.
I know. I have to agree. I do think that West Side Story is going to win. I have not seen it. I will not see it. Yeah. Whatever. Out of these, the only 2 that I would like to see Coda. I think I would really like that. I took ASL in college for 3 years and I loved it. Like, I thought that was such a cool class to take. And then we got to like go to the nursing home, like a deaf nursing home, and like interact with them. It was just cool. Like, I'd love to watch that one. But out of the ones that I've seen, the more I think about Dune, the more angry I get.
Yeah.
Like, I did not. In retrospect, I really don't like anything about Dune. Besides the fact that Zendaya and Timmy and Oscar were all in it. Like, love to look at them, but I thought the movie was bad.
Yeah.
And Nightmare Alley, I love Bradley Cooper with my whole heart and soul. Like, I feel like he hasn't gotten as much shine on the podcast lately for me, mostly because he just hasn't been, like, in a lot that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. So, like, Adam Driver, I feel like, has been my more talked about man. But in reality, Adam Driver and Bradley Cooper are, like, tied. Like, I love both of them equally. So, this was one, and from the preview, it looked kind of cool. I did not like this whatsoever. When it was time to switch over to the games that were starting, I had like 30 minutes left, and I'm like, I'm literally not even going to go back and finish it. And I didn't. Like, I did not like it. And he ate a chicken. What the fuck? I didn't like it, even having Bradley Cooper in it. Don't Look Up and King Richard are the only two that I genuinely liked out of watching these. King Richard was amazing. Like, I thought it was really great. Obviously, like, it's a cool story to learn about because obviously, like, you know, like, Venus and Serena, but, like, you don't know the dad behind them. Like, I never knew anything about that. And I thought Will Smith was fantastic, and, like, the kids in it were great. Like, I thought it was a great movie. Will I ever rewatch it? I don't know. I think the only one that I would ever rewatch is probably Don't Look Up, and I think because that was kind of, like, funny.
Yeah.
And I think I would, like, go back and see that one again. I don't know. So those two, I would like to see either of those two win because they were the ones that I enjoyed the most, but I don't think either of them are going to win.
Don't Look Up, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It's, you know, I think, again, like we said in that episode, go back and listen to it if you haven't, but it's like, without Jennifer Lawrence, I don't know how much I would have liked it or even had any desire to see it. Dune, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I agree with you. The more I think about it, the more it angers me. I just don't. People are like, well, I like the potential for it and I like what it's going to be. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, that is not a reason to nominate a film. Nightmare Alley, I gave 1 out of 5. I thought that movie was so fucking botched. Too fucking long. Like, the first third of the film is like flashback / like origin story. And then they like spend the other 2/3 of the film like retelling you everything that already happened, and it's gruesome in like not a meaningful way. I don't like it. I also hate circuses. I think they're so cruel and so disgusting, and they just give me the creeps, which I think is like the point of this film, is to like kind of freak you out. But like old-timey circuses just really fucking rub me the wrong way, and all like the abuse and shit that went on in those, like, animal abuse, people who are different abuse, like, not about it. And I don't fucking fuck with circuses. Just like I don't fuck with zoos. West Side Story, I gave 3 out of 5. I love West Side Story. I'm a fan of the original film. I loved the performances in this. It was a lot of Ansel Elgort, and I wanted more of the woman who played Maria. I don't know the actress's name, but she's incredibly talented. I didn't really like the storytelling structure and how Spielberg kind of changed things around. It was very jarring to go from, spoiler alert, but Bernardo being killed to then I Feel Pretty. Like, that just was so fucked up. Basically, he like told Tony's entire story and then Maria's entire story, where traditionally it's both of their stories at the same time because their story is a love story, so it's not about two individuals. And it just kind of like brought more to light the fact that like you two just met and you don't know each other, which in musicals it's kind of like you ignore that, and it's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, so you're kind of supposed to let that stuff go and just let the music and the story take over and be the center of the story. But the way he separated them out for so much of the film, I was like very aware of the fact that they just met and they're making a horrible decision by like wanting to run away together. Don't fuck with shit that I like. But the dancing and like the film itself is very aesthetically pleasing and amazing. Certain things I didn't appreciate.
Okay, moving on.
Director, I literally don't care. I think Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. I haven't seen The Power of the Dog. I've heard it's horrible, but it'd be cool to see a woman win for Best Director.
I've heard your movie sucks, but here's your Oscar.
I think Coda should win Best Direction, but it's not nominated, so. Music, Dune had some really
Dune did
good
have good music.
Scoring. That was like the one really good thing about that film. I think Encanto could win too because of the like cultural impact that it's had, that the music in particular has had, and just how much the Oscars love Lin-Manuel Miranda already. For original song, I would like to see No Time to Die by Billie Eilish and Phineas.
I thought Be Alive was really great from King Richard, so I guess I'd like to see that one.
Yeah, that one I'd be satisfied with as well, because Beyonce does do a very good job.
Fucking Lilas.
I watched Black is King on my birthday.
Did you?
Yeah, it was so good.
I'm just looking through the last two categories to see if I had any notes, and I don't think I did. But one thing would have been sound. I know it's way too late, but the Batman sound was so good. Like, I feel like that. I mean, I know it wasn't out on time, but that sound was incredible.
It really was. Movie. Yeah, you're so right.
Well done. But yeah, I don't have any other notes specifically on categories, but I do just have like a very random question for you, Katie.
Yeah, what's up?
And I feel like I might have asked this before in our previous Oscar episodes, but I don't care. I'm going to ask it again. What is your all-time, just one, your all-time favorite ever Academy Award nominated movie? Doesn't mean it had to have won, but like got nominated or recognized. What is your favorite?
That's really hard. Oh no, that's so hard, dude. I don't know if I can answer that. Jesus. I can't. I literally can't choose just one. Like, there are so many films from like when I was in school that have changed my life, like, no lie.
I know, there's like Little Women, Call Me by Your Name, Moonlight, La La Land,
literally
all your faves.
Lady Bird, like,
oh, Lady Bird.
You know, I would say like Lady Bird. I don't know if I can. Like, La La Land is the film that I watch. Like, I watch that movie all the time just because, like, I don't think I could survive without that movie, and that sounds dramatic, but like, I genuinely don't think I would be in LA right now without that film. And it's gotten me through, like, I'm tearing up thinking about it, but La La Land has really gotten me through some very dark times in my life. Same with Moonlight. Like, that film is another one that's really, really changed my outlook on the world. Call Me by Your Name, I watch that movie every summer. Like, I can't, since it came out in 2017, 2018, I like can't go a summer without watching it. Little Women, obviously, like, that film is, I think, like, the best film ever made. I don't know. They're all, like, I love them all so much for different reasons. Like, I can't choose just one. They're so distinct from each other. Get Out, even, I think, like, is another one that I just, like, love so much. I cannot choose just one.
Boo, tomato, throwing tomato.
If I had to choose one forever, oh my god, that's so hard. It's down to like La La Land and Little Women, I think. If I could only watch one film for the rest of my life, I think it would have to be La La Land, which is crazy to say because Little Women is like so incredible, but the impact that La La Land has had on my life is very, very extensive.
When we watched Call Me by Your Name, I don't think I was like ever expecting to be like emotionally like not like emotionally of just being like, oh, you're watching these like two people fall in love and like not be able to like be in love. Like, obviously it's an emotional movie, but I think like personally like emotionally touched by it. I still think about that like train goodbye.
And that's what, you know, I feel like has been really lacking in a lot of the films that have come out post-pandemic is like, even though I think what makes such a great Oscar film is like, even though the story follows someone who could be completely different from you. Little Women, like, the bond that these women have, it's carried over to like bonds that women have in modern day. So it's just like, I think that's what makes a good film, is when the feelings that you feel as an audience member, it transcends your own experience and time and everything that could be different about what you're watching compared to your life. And I just feel like that heart has really been missing.
My one would be Silver Linings Playbook, and I feel the same exact way about that one, is that like it's the one movie where I think it was like one of the first movies that I saw where I felt like very seen in that movie, and like seeing two characters like struggling so hard but like continuing to try to be better and like strive to be better and like look for the positive and stuff. Like that movie just makes me feel so many fucking things, and like even now whenever I watch it I like get emotional watching it. And there's like not any sort of movie that I've watched this year where I feel that way. And even in previous year or in the past few years, like there hasn't been. I don't think since A Star Is Born has been nominated has a movie made me feel really, really, really moved. I don't know. And like you said, it's not even just from like mutual experience, because it's like, yes, I watched Silver Linings Playbook and I feel like personally connected to that, but it's like Call Me by Your Name, I'm so far removed from the like gay man experience. But But yet, like, I still was moved by that movie. And like you said with Moonlight, like, I was moved by that. And there are even like Bohemian Rhapsody, like, that's something that it's like, again, I have literally no personal connection to, but like that moved me. And this is just, I don't know. It's just not it this year.
I want that feeling back that I had like watching the films from previous years, the years leading up to the pandemic, honestly.
Agreed. Even like Black Klansman.
Yeah. Oh, that's
what a great
so
film.
good. Yeah. I love
like
that movie.
there are those movies that I think about, or like I look over at my shelves and I'm like seeing all of these fantastic movies, and like when I think of the crop that we got this year, there is not a single one that I would buy to like add to my physical collection, which like I know physical collections are going out, but I worked at a movie store. I will forever collect DVDs as long as they're out.
Yeah.
And there's not a single one that I would buy this year that got nominated. Like, I would buy House of Gucci.
Are the Oscars dead? Only time will tell. They'll probably be dead until I'm getting nominated for shit. And I will revive them, people.
I don't think it's ever gonna go away. It's just because, like, Hollywood is so stuck in its ways. Like, as much as they're, like, revolutionizing things, they're also still, like, so stuck in the past at the same time. It's, like, such a weird juxtaposition there. But, I mean, the Academy, I don't think is going anywhere. It's just how it'll change with time / if it'll change with time.
That's interesting that you say that about, like, Hollywood and LA, because, like, I think, like, as someone who has grown up in the Midwest their entire life, you kind of like have this perspective of LA as being this like very progressive place and pushing boundaries and stuff like that. But people here are just like people everywhere else. I mean, there is a lot more acceptance and a lot more of like a liberal lifestyle that is accepted here, but like when I lived in Wisconsin, I never received a comment from anyone when I was like holding hands with a girl walking down the street. But here, like my girlfriend and I got yelled at by somebody for being gay, and he like asked us which one is the man in our relationship. It's just like surprising.
Sir, politely fuck off.
Literally, it's like surprising that happens in LA. Like yesterday when I was working, a customer used the R word in front of me, and I was like, that makes me uncomfortable that you would say that. You know, so it's just like, and even people in the industry, you know, it's like fake woke. I think a lot of people are like, well, like when I was working for commercials and stuff, commercial production, every email I got was like, we're really wanting a woman for this, like a female director or a person of color. And then I'd like submit people that I thought were genuinely really good for the job who were part of these marginalized communities, and they would be passed over like every single time, and the job 99% of the time goes to a white man. Why do you even fucking say that? It's just so that they can be like, well, we said like we wanted someone, but it just so happened that it worked out. Like, yeah, Hollywood likes to be all high and mighty, but they're fucking not. And people suck everywhere.
Literally, I have no faith in people anywhere. I have no faith in the human race just as a whole.
I mean, there's like shitty people everywhere and there's good people everywhere. But I think that's it for this week. Guys, we have a video, oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. We have a reaction video coming out on YouTube soon. We're reacting to The Secret Life of the American Teenager. It's so funny. I have been dying fucking laughing editing it. It should be out very soon.
God. That's it for this week, folks. We'll briefly touch on the Oscars, depending if we have anything more to say. We probably honestly won't have, much more to say in our episode for next week, which is Bridgerton Season 2. I'm so fucking excited for this season. Also, fun fact, one of my book friends got flown out by Netflix to be in one of their YouTube videos to talk about the second season of Bridgerton coming out. That's exciting. So freaking cool.
That's awesome. Shout out.
So I watched that today and it got me even more jazzed, and I can't wait for this season. I think it's going to be really good.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay well. Lilas.
And lilas.